on your mat. Maybe wriggle from side to side so you can actually feel the connection of your sit bones with your mat. And then instead of keeping the stance of your feet or the position that you always have, just cross your legs the other way around or tuck them under, just something that makes you feel comfortable. And then close your eyes and then place your hands into your lap, left hand onto right one. And let's just take 3 conscious breaths in. Pull that breath up from your sit bones all the way into your pelvis, then into your spine, your lower back, mid back, rib cage, shoulders, neck, and all the way up into your skull. And then slowly exhale from your crown, your skull, your neck, shoulder girdle, shoulder blades, rib cage, heart, past your diaphragm, past your belly button, lower back, pelvis, and back all the way into those sit bones. Do that twice more, consciously lengthening your spine and taking your awareness to those different body parts. Sit bones, pelvis. See how that feels, lower back. And if this takes more than one breath, it doesn't matter. Just consciously follow your spine into your diaphragm. Shine that light out, open your heart, expand your rib cage, widen those collarbones, gently pulling the shoulder blades down, making yourself sit up nice and tall, lengthen your neck, and then allow that crown to reach up towards the sky. And when you exhale, allow all these body parts to become soft. Don't round your spine, but just simply become soft. Allow the shoulders to slightly slump forward or curl forward. Allow your ribs to curl in towards each other, protecting your heart. Don't dim that solar plexus light, just maybe tone it down a bit. If you feel like you want to pull your belly button back towards your spine, do so and see how that feels in your lower abdominals, in your lower back. And then consciously connect your sit bones and your entire perineum area, connecting that to the mat, rooting down. And let's do that one more time. Deep inhale, pulling all that energy from the earth through your sit bones and perineum up into your pelvis. Allow it to swirl around there and then pull it up past your belly button, lower back, solar plexus. Shine that globe out. Expand your rib cage. Maybe this is a second breath. Widening the rib cage, opening your heart, spreading those collarbones apart, widening your shoulders, dropping those shoulder blades down towards your sit bones. And then perhaps lifting your chin just a tad bit, lengthening your neck, and then reaching your crown up towards the sky, being open for whatever the universe has in store for you today. And if you can, hold your breath here for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly, really slowly, exhale from your crown, down your neck into your shoulders. Imagine you're standing under a waterfall and the water's just washing over you gently, not pounding, gently, flowing over your shoulders, your heart, your shoulder blades, past your diaphragm, past your belly button, and all the way down into your mat through your sit bones. And relax your entire upper body. Release those hip flexors. Go round in your lower back. Pull your belly button slightly back. Curl your ribs in. Slightly close your heart center. Drop your chin down towards your chest. Become nice and heavy, which I guess at this time of day is far easier Then sitting nice and tall and taut. And connect to your heart center. Perhaps you can conjure up an image, sensation, a scent, a word, a person, an animal, whatever pops into your mind. And hopefully that puts a smile on your face. And connect that image, scent, whatever popped into your mind to your heart. And then pull that chin a bit further down towards your chest. At the same time, pulling your shoulders away from your ears, pull your belly button back towards your spine and contract your perineum. So that means we have two bandhas, two locks, the one in our throat and the one in our perineum, keeping the core temperature in our body the same, preserving the energy. Stay here for 3 more breaths. Make them shallow breaths so that we do not lose the heat. One more breath here. And then very slowly on your next inhale, shift so that you're sitting on top of your sit bones in case you shifted behind them. And then start straightening your spine, one vertebra after the other, like a blossom unfurling, getting ready for the day. Open your heart, square your shoulders, lift your chin, open your throat chakra, open your eyes. Good morning. Wriggle your fingers. And then rotate your wrists in both directions. Interlace those fingers. If you need to change your legs, do so, and raise those palms up towards the sky. Allow your eyes to follow, your gaze to follow your hands. Perhaps you can feel space being generated in your solar plexus. Keep those palms pulling up, length being formed in your lower back. And with your next exhale, just simply allow those arms to come down and switch the palms facing up, pulling your top of your hands down. Slightly turn the inside of your elbow, the eye of the elbow backwards. Shoulder blades go down, shoulders go away from your ears, so you can feel a stretch from your earlobes down along your throat into your shoulders. We're going to repeat twice more. On the inhale, we go up, flip your palm up, allow the shoulders to come up to your ears, reach up. Keep those ears nicely hugged by your biceps. So the exhale, slowly come on down, consciously feeling the rotation in your shoulders. And then pull those hands down. You can pull the hands apart as well. Fingers are interlocked. You'll get a nice stretch in the palm of your hands, maybe in your wrist as well. And up again, inhale, long. Maybe you want to wriggle from side to side, getting some movement into your rib cage. With the next exhale, come on down. Pull the hands down. If you can and want to, flip your palms facing down. Your thumbs are facing your feet. Gently push the palm of your hands down. It'll give you an extreme opening in your wrists and elbows, so be gentle. Listen to your body. And then come back to neutral. Release your fingers, wriggle those fingers, and take your feet and place them a bit more than hip distance apart. If you can, almost come into like a hollow, like a hollow back. You're just pulling your belly button forward, okay? So that you've got your perfect position in your hips. And the only thing we're going to do, you can place your hands next to your thighs. We're just going to do the windscreen wiper. Dropping one knee to the inside, come back to center, drop the other knee. And rather be slow and listen to what's going on in your hips, in your lower back. Try to keep your upper body nice and straight. If that doesn't work, go with the movement and open your chest. Come back. If you can and want to, you can speed up the movement. If you don't need support with your fingertips, take your hands into Anjalina Mudra. Come on back. The further your feet are apart, the more space you have to lay your knee down. Okay, so the closer you go, it becomes a closed movement. Give both a try and see which works for you. As long as you feel rotation in your hips, that is perfect. You will move forward off your mat, most probably, depending on how fast and how big the movement is. We're going to do 2 more on each side. Gives you a nice massage on your sit bones. 1 more on this side, and 1 more on that. And then you come back to center, stretch out your legs, and just give it a bit of a shake. Cross those ankles, both sides. And then take your legs under, come into a kneeling position if that works for you. If it doesn't, come back into a seated position. You can take your toes under or keep them flat. Depends on how you feel today. Be sure that you're not in a hollow back. So we're not going to be like this, right? It feels nice, but it's uncomfortable in the long run. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, simply take your arms out horizontal, palms facing forward, and just reach those thumbs up towards the sky. Pinkies go down towards the floor, and the middle finger goes far away. I'd like you to take your attention into your neck, the base of your neck. So move those shoulders down, shoulder blades down. Then move your attention into your shoulders, shoulder girdle. Try to widen it. Imagine it's slim, long, 2-foot spaghetti, that kind of sensation. Then take your attention into your sternum, your breastbone, and imagine you'd like it to be 20 centimeters wide, allowing the ribs attaching to it to reach out, giving a sensation of space. And go into your armpits. You might feel a bit of a stretch in there already. They're huge as well. Then into your biceps. They're nice and long and limber. Into eye of your elbow is open like a huge serving plate. Down into your lower arms. They're long and slender. Into your wrists, the palm of your hands, massive serving plates, and all your 10 fingers are spreading out wide from the center of your palms. Gaze is going down to the tip of your nose. We're going to stay here for another 3, 2, 1, and then simply allow those arms to come down and gently rotate your shoulders backwards twice and forwards twice. See how your shoulders feel. And then we're going to go again. Reach those fingers out and curl the thumb in, curl the fingers around, make fists. Plop those fists so that the back of your hand is facing upwards and pull the knuckles towards your ribs. Should be a bit easier to do now or not so stretchy. Keep pulling those knuckles towards your wrists. 3, 2, 1. And while you're holding those knuckles down, take those toes under. If you can. If you had your toes under, flop them down. Release the wrists, open the fists, and then turn the palm facing up. And simply keep your arms like that. And try to turn your wrists so that the pinky can actually reach up towards the sky. You'll feel a rotation in your shoulders. Pull your belly button back towards your spine. And then flatten the palm, curl the thumbs in, make fists, and pull those knuckles towards your ears. Pull your shoulder blades down towards your sit bones. Chest is open, arms are stretched, elbows are looking down, and the eye of the elbow is looking up prominently. 3, 2, 1. Release and uncurl those toes and sit down. Wriggle the fingers, rotate your shoulders twice in both directions. Very good. Now come up onto your knees. Curl your toes under. If you have a thin mat, like I do, put something squishy under your knees. We're going to inhale, and we're slightly going to go backwards, lean back, but only slightly, okay? Your ears are hugged by your biceps. Your core is nice and tight, and come back. It's an itty-bitty movement. Exhale, go back. Allow those thumbs to guide the movement. Come back. Your inner thighs are contracted. And twice more. Going back. Maybe a bit further. And come to center. And last time. And we're going to hold. Push your pelvis forwards. Belly button's holding you nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. Come on back. Release your arms down. Rotate your shoulders twice in both directions. Now we're going to go inhale, lift your right hand up and rotate it backwards and see whether you can touch your right heel. If that doesn't work, keep your core nice and tight. Don't touch the back, the lower back, okay? And then you come back, inhale, come back, exhale, down. Inhale, other arm up, exhale, go touch your heel. Inhale, exhale, come back. Inhale, exhale, come back. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, back. Inhale and exhale down. 3 more on each side. Make it a big stretch up. And if this is not strenuous enough or not enough of a stretch for you, then flatten those toes. Twice more. Okay, inhale up and down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, long and down. And 1 more on each side. Up and down. And up and down. And last time up. Very good. Inhale, come back down. Sit down and lower yourself down into a child's pose. Don't have to extend your arms. You can lay them next to your thighs if that is more comfortable. And perhaps swaying your glutes or your hips from side to side works for you. If you feel pressure in your lower back, pull your belly button back towards your spine. And stay here for another 2 breaths. One more breath. And then take your hands forward, gaze to them. Slowly come on up and come back into or come into a tabletop, pushing yourself up into a cat pose, spreading those shoulder blades, tucking your tailbone under. If you want to curl your toes under, do so, or keep those feet flat on the mat. Fingers are splayed. Your hands are under your shoulders. Push that mat far away so that your arms are nicely stretched. Give you a beautiful stretch across your upper back. Pull those shoulders away from your ears to get a stretch in the base of your neck. On the next inhale, slowly come back into a neutral spine and then drop your belly down, come into a cow pose. And make it a comfortable cow for you, okay? Perhaps it's just you're dropping your belly down, pulling your shoulders away from your ears and you're gazing straight ahead. Perhaps you're allowing the back of your head to drop in between your shoulder blades and you imagine that the top of your head is meeting your tailbone. Put a tiny bend into your elbows. You're going to stay here for another 3 breaths. See how that feels. If 3 breaths is too much, come back into a neutral spine or go into a child's pose. A nice compression of your lower back after what we did beforehand. A last breath here. And with the next inhale, slowly come back into neutral spine and drop into cat pose. Make it a small cat first. Allowing your spine to adjust and then go into this massive black cat or whatever color you want to give the cat. Pull the shoulders away from your ears. And on your next inhale, come back into neutral spine and move your hips from side to side. Maybe wriggle or rotate those hips and shoulders, whatever makes you feel happy today. Then take your left hand under your center line, push the hand into the mat, reach the right hand out, and exhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Very good. Lengthen. On the next exhale, simply take that hand down, replace with the left hand, stretch the right arm, left hand goes out, and then up towards the sky. Maybe this side is easier, maybe it's more difficult. Stretch. You're going to do 1 more on each side with an exhale. Come on down. Push the hand into the mat, open up, and exhale. Open that chest. Reach up. Try not to overextend that upper arm, but simply go up towards the sky. With the next exhale, come on down, change sides. And pair it with your breathing. When we open up, we inhale, exhale, open, 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 reach up, inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, come on down and move down into a child's pose, taking your arms alongside your thighs. Allow the shoulders to get heavy. And take 2 more breaths here. The last one. And then inhale, take your hands forward, look forward, move up. Take your hands under your shoulders again. Come into a neutral spine. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees. Those of you who want to take it a step further, stretch out one leg. For those of you who have stretched a leg, change sides. Keep the hip nice and closed. Foot is flexed. Arms are strong. Come on back. And then we all hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Either move into child's pose or drop the top of your feet down onto the mat, keeping those knees afloat, and hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And drop those knees. Take the knees out to the edge of your mat and push back into wide knee child's pose. Before you sink down, take your hands close towards your knees. Pull those shoulders away from your ears and push your pelvis down onto your heels. Maybe you want to stay here. You get a beautiful opening in your hips, or you want to walk your hands forward and lay down. Whichever pose you choose, stay there for 3 breaths. Release whatever tension you might encounter in your body. Try to let it flow into your mat. If resting on your forehead is uncomfortable, just turn your head. If having your arms engaged, your fingers splayed is just a tad bit too much today, rest your arms down onto the mat. Release any tension you're holding on your inner thighs, your hip flexors, your belly, and your lower back. All the way up into the shoulders, release those shoulders. Release the neck. And then with the next inhale, slowly coming back up. Take your knees under your hips again. Curl your toes under and slowly come on up into the first downward facing dog. And be gentle with that dog. Maybe take your feet a bit more than hip distance apart. Pedal those feet. Take the hips along, take the shoulders along. Get accustomed to that stretch. Maybe your backside of your body does not want to stretch, so be gentle. Okay. And rather take too many breaths in the downward facing dog than forcing anything, actually, with each and every pose that is. Move down through your hands. Maybe lift all 10 fingers, just pushing the pads of your hands into the mat. And then stopping on one foot, pushing that foot and heel down into the mat, bending the other leg a bit more, dropping your chest down towards that thigh and knee. Allow the gaze to go there, then your body will follow. Drop the hands down onto the mat again and change sides. Push the other heel down. Maybe the leg is stretched, maybe it's bent. Try to address that beautiful stretch in the back of the leg, especially the hamstring. And then drop your chest down to the other bent leg. Gently shift the weight to the outside edge of that standing foot to get a stretch in the outside of your thigh and maybe in the outside of your glutes. Do that on the other side as well. Change sides. Gently shift the weight to the outer edge of that foot, feeling the stretch on the outside of that hip joint, maybe hips, maybe even into the lower back. And then come back to standing downward facing dog. And then transfer your weight to your right foot. Lift your left leg up. And it doesn't have to be all the way up towards the sky, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to draw circles.
inside or out, I'll leave that up to you. Just draw circles with that floating leg. It feels a bit weird in the beginning, but I know you can do it. And I said choose directions because we're going to change direction then. Okay? Whether you want to stretch your leg or whether you want to have your leg bent, I'll leave up to you. Just feel that beautiful rotation in your hip joint. We're going to go another 2 on this side. Last one. And then we're going to stretch that leg up, feet go up towards, or that foot goes up towards the sky, bend the knee, and stack those hips. Keep the chest open. Feel that beautiful stretch in the inner thigh of your standing leg. Might reach into your lower abdominals. Nice twist in your lower back. And then with your next inhale, close that hip, stretch that leg one more time, and then exhale that foot down and pedal those feet. Might feel a difference between your left side and your right side already. One side is more open than the other. Pedal another 3, 2, 1, and then lift that right foot up. We're on the other side, just change sides. Maybe you want to bend your knee to draw circles with that leg. Feel the opening or closing of the hip, depending on which direction you're choosing. It's an accustomed move. We've got another 3 on this side. Ensure that your chest is sinking down towards a standing leg. And then change directions. And one side might be easier than the other. Just go with the flow. You're moving, you're on the mat. And another 3, 2, 1. And then stretch that leg out. Feel that beautiful stretch in both inner thighs. Bend the upper knee and stack the hips. Keep your chest nice and closed. Gaze down either to the mat, depending on how your neck feels, or to your standing leg's thigh. Really allow that upper hip to drop backwards. Opening up your lower back, your lower belly. Twisting your spine. Another 2. 1, and then slowly close that hip, stretch that leg one more time up towards the sky, and then exhale that foot down and pedal that dog. If this was too much pressure on your wrists, come on down into a child's pose. Okay, another 3, 2, 1. Come to standing, inhale, look forward and come into a plank. The shoulders might complain, so let's just come into a low plank and stay there. If this is not yours at all today, go into child's pose or stay in downward facing dog. Pull those shoulders away from your ears and slightly open your chest. Curl your lower ribs in. Your inner thighs are contracted. Your kneecaps are pulling up, your tailbones slightly tucked under. And then take your feet a bit more than hip distance apart. So with the next exhale, you can actually lay your heels down. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lay them to the other side. 3 more on each side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, drop. Inhale, exhale, drop. Inhale, exhale, drop. Inhale, exhale, last one here, this side. Inhale, exhale, drop. Come back to center. Drop your knees and feet down and come into Sphinx. Extending the entire front side of your body, pulling your shoulders away from your ears, stretching from your pubic bone all the way up to the tip of your nose and maybe up to your crown. Maybe you want to close your eyes. Your legs are engaged, your toes are pointed. 3, 2, 1, and release. Lay your entire body down onto the mat. Make a cushion with your hands and release your forehead down onto it. And gently sway your pelvis from side to side. And you release your hands next to your body, palms facing down. On the next inhale, press your pubic bone down into the mat. Raise your legs. Try to have them as close as you can together. Toes are pointed. Keep your breath nice and even. Your shoulders are moving away from your ears. And then we're going to lift those arms. Fingertips are pushing down towards the heels. And then obviously would like to join the chest into that movement. Forehead 2, gaze down to the tip of your nose. Doesn't matter how far off you can lift your chest, even if it's, 2 millimeters, perfectly fine. And stay here. Toes are pushing away, fingertips are pushing away. And then because we can, we're going to move the arms and the legs out. And then we're going to move those hands together ahead of your head. Toes come together again. And out towards the side and alongside your body. And because this was so beautiful, we're going to do that one more time. Out. Nice and taut body and hands together. And out. And alongside your body, we're going to hold here for 3. Lift your chest a bit higher, your legs a bit higher. 2. 1. And then lower your hands down, make a cushion. Lower your legs, drop your forehead. And release entire tension in your body. Sway your pelvis from side to side. Catch your breath. And keep shaking your rear end. Another 3, 2, 1. And then slowly take your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes under, and push on up into a downward facing dog. And you will feel why. Stretch that lower back. Walk that dog. Shake out your neck and head. Another 3, 2, 1. With the next inhale, look forward and slowly walk or hop towards your hands and come into a half lift, pulling those shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, forward fold, and either bend those legs or keep them straight, whatever makes you feel phenomenal, and feel the stretch in your lower back, maybe even in your hamstrings. Shake out your neck and head. And then take your hands and place them under your feet. Okay, go stand on your hands. Stand so far under your feet that your toes can touch your wrists. And then we're going to inhale. If you have your knees bent, that's fine. Inhale, pull those shoulders away from your ears. And exhale, pull that upper body down towards your thighs. Your elbows will go out. That's perfectly fine. And enjoy that beautiful stretch. If you lean backwards, not giving those toes a chance to push your wrists down, you'll get less reach, but please check in with your body. Beautiful. Another 3, 2, 1. And slowly lift one foot off, the other one off. Take your feet a bit more than hip widths apart, and then grab your elbows and simply hang there and sway from side to side. Hug your chin down towards your chest so that you can stretch your neck. Another 3, 2, 1. And then release your elbows, come a bit closer, stand hip width apart. Oh, there's a storm coming. Inhale, come on up, all the way up, and stand nice and tall. Hands come down in front of your heart center. Very good. Come to the front of your mat. I want to see the storm coming. Stand so that you are nice and comfortable. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back into plank or your variation of plank. Come on down on your knees, toes, flatten down, elbows close. Inhale, rotate your shoulders back. come into a small cobra. Tuck your toes under, coming over your knees, up into your downward facing dog. And then inhale, look forward, hopper step towards your hands and move up into chair pose. Look, you can see your toes, tuck your tailbone under. Your core is tight, your chest is open. Exhale, take your hands in front of your heart center. Then twist to one side, hooking your elbow on the outside of your knee. Ensure that both kneecaps are parallel, and then open your chest. If it's too much of a twist, reduce the push of the palms against your hands and gaze down. Belly button goes back towards your spine. Open the hands up. One hand goes up, the other hand goes down. And take your hands back into palm on palm, back into Anjalina Mudra, and change sides. Same here. Check that both patellas are next to each other or kneecaps, and then twist and look up towards the sky if you can, or ahead. Then release the palms, open your hands. Come back into Anjalina Mudra, back into center, and come into a forward fold. Take your feet hip distance apart and release down into a relaxed forward fold. Give your neck and head a bit of a shake. Gaze down to your toes, come back to hip distance apart, bend your knees, inhale, come all the way up. Stretch and exhale, bend to one side. Keeping your chest open. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bend to the other side. Beautiful stretch for the lower back. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands come down. Mountain pose. Inhale, let's do the other side. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back into plank or your variation. Come on down into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. The next inhale, look forward, take your right foot forward. Come into crescent, meaning the back foot is just on the toes. Try to stretch it and then allow the pelvis to sink down so that you can feel the stretch in your psoas. Tuck that tailbone under and you'll feel that stretch increase. If you're wobbling, move the front foot to the side. Inhale, reach up, exhale, slight back bend just from the lower ribs up to your fingertips. Maybe you can look up towards the sky. And then exhale, come on down, take your hands down onto the mat, drop your left knee, left foot. And then reach your fingertips up again, drop that pelvis down. Take your right hand on the inside of your right foot and go into a twist. And most of the time, the pelvis will move back. So allow that pelvis to come forward again, drop it down and open. And the more you will reach those left fingertips up, if you're on the left side, you'll feel that stretch, maybe even into your lower belly. And then let's change sides. Drop the left hand down, open the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then drop that pelvis down. For the runners of you, lift your back foot, grab hold of the foot, and press that pelvis down again. Open your chest. If you can, look up towards the sky. Release. Come on back down. Come back into plank, all the way down into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And back down into downward facing dog. Walk that dog out. Shake out your head and neck. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, look forward and take that left foot forward. We do the same thing on the other side. Come into crescent. Sink that pelvis down. Tuck that tailbone under. Shoulder blades go down. And this side might be easier. Inhale, grow long. Enjoy the stretch in that right psoas. Exhale, slight back bend if your back and chest permits. Very nice. And then come on down with your hands. Drop your right knee down, right foot down. Inhale, hands go up again. Drop that pelvis down. Be generous with that drop. Sure that your left ankle is under your left knee. And then take your right hand down and twist up. Do the more comfortable one first. Again, your pelvis will move back. Drop it down. And then take that left hand, place it on the inside of your left foot. Maybe your left shoulder can press against the inside of your left knee. Reaching your right fingertips up. Drop that pelvis down. Maybe you can feel it all the way up into your lower ribs. Then drop that hand down. One more time, we'll do that runner stretch. Left hand goes up. Lift your back foot, grab hold of it. And then drop that pelvis down. Rotate that upper shoulder back if that works for you. And open your chest, look back towards that foot. If this doesn't work, keep your chest closed, but nonetheless, open to the front, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and the pelvis goes down. Feel the stretch in your right hip flexor, maybe in your quad. And then release. And then take your hands down onto the mat, curl your toes under, and come back into plank, all the way down into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And pull yourself back into downward facing dog. Walk that dog. Or maybe you just want to, gently sway from side to side. Work your body the way that it feels comfortable to you. Give your neck ahead a bit of a head. Give your head and neck a bit of a shake. And a massive thunderstorm just over the ocean. Okay, come to rest. Bend your knees. Look forward and hop towards your hands. And come into chair pose. It doesn't matter how far down you go. Maybe your chair is up here. It's perfectly fine. Don't be in a hollow back. Curl your tailbone under. We're not going to stay here for a while, okay? Squeeze those heels, squeeze the ankles, squeeze the knees. And come down a bit. And down a bit. And come into forward fold. Beautiful. And step your feet far apart. Maybe you have to change so that you have the entire width or length of your mat. Push the outside edges of your feet into the mat. Big toes are slightly turning towards each other. And then allow those sit bones to get a glimpse of the sky. So the more you tilt your pelvis upward, backwards, you should feel a stretch just below your glutes, maybe into your glutes, maybe into your lower back. Stay for another 3, 2, 1, and then inhale, slowly coming up halfway. Place your hands onto your hips and then come all the way up. Maybe walk your feet in a bit. Inhale. And then exhale. Let me turn around. Rotate your shoulders backwards, interlace your fingers, and then release your index fingers so that those index fingers can point down past your glutes all the way down towards the floor. So you could feel a stretch from the base of your neck all the way into your shoulders, down into your arms, okay? Keep that pull down. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, come on half. And with the next exhale, drop your head down towards the mat and your fingers come up, or index fingers come all the way up towards the sky. And then take your intention into the shoulder girdle and see how that feels. And allow those hands to drop back towards the back of your head. You might feel a stretch in your rib cage, opening that chest, mobilizing the shoulder joints. Try to keep the palms as close together as you can. Maybe you can gaze up towards the sky or the ceiling. Push the outer edges of your feet into the mat. And then with the next inhale, slowly come on half lift. Drop those arms down onto your lower back and release. Come on down. Simply hang there. Maybe you want to get a tiny bend into your knees. Maybe you want to shift from side to side. Move your body so that it feels comfortable to you. And then inhale, come half lift. Exhale, walk to the left side and drop your chest down towards that thigh. Neck and head relaxed, released. Feel the stretch and the twist. Inhale, come back up, half lift. Exhale, walk over to the other side. Drop your neck and head. And inhale. Half lift, exhale, come back to center. Turn your fingertips so that they face backwards and allow those fingers to walk backwards. Might feel a bit weird. Maybe you want to micro bend in your knees. Allow those elbows to move towards each other. And you're gazing up to your lower belly, the sky, so that wherever your eyes go, your body will move. And release. Come on back to center. Then turn the front or the foot that is closer to the front of the mat forward. Step back into plank and come down into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale. Pull yourself back into downward facing dog. Stay here for 2 breaths. Either you want to walk that dog or stay stable. Enjoying that stretch, pushing your pelvis away from your shoulders, lengthening. And with the next inhale, look forward, hopper step towards your hands. Come into half lift. Putting those shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knee slightly. Inhale, come all the way up into standing. And take your hands down into Anjalina Mudra and then drop them down into mountain pose. Cross your ankles and sit down. Place your soles of your feet together. Get a diamond shaped in your lower body. Inhale, grow long, and then place your hands, if you can, next to your feet, wherever they feel comfortable. And all we're going to do is we're going to move forward with the chest gently. That's all we're doing. Bending forward, but with an open heart. We're not going down with a round spine, but keeping the spine long, not necessarily straight as a rod, but just long, so your crown is going up and your chest is going forward, open. So basically just push your lower ribs forward slightly. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your gaze can go down to the tip of your nose. It's a more gentle opening of the hips and a lengthening of your lower back, stretch in your inner thighs. And we're going to stay here for another 5 breaths. So be gentle with yourself. If you can feel that your lower back is rounding, that is perfectly fine. My lower back is round too. If you feel tension in your lower back, pull your belly button back towards your spine. As long as you keep your chest nice and open, shoulder girdle open. There's no pulling, it's just gravity gently pulling your body or your upper body down towards the lower body. Maybe you want to take your attention into your hip joints and see, are the left and the right the same? Do they feel the same? Or is the one side tighter and holding on to something? I know I breathe slowly. I think we got another 2 breaths. If your neck feels too strained, you can gaze down towards your feet. Loving the sight of your feet to keep you stable and upright every day. And on your last exhale, you're allowed to be nice to yourself and sink all the way down, rounding your entire spine, dropping your forehead down to wherever it can reach. Maybe you want to stack two fists on top of each other, rest your forehead on it. Maybe it needs a bit more. And maybe your forehead is resting in between the soles of your feet. Stay here for another 2 breaths. Stretching that entire back side of yours from your glutes, lower back, mid back, upper back, neck. And then with your next inhale, pull your belly button back towards your spine to keep the lower back nice and stable. Using your hands, slowly come on back up. Rotate those shoulders in both directions. Use your hands to close your knees, cross your knees, and gently sway those hips from side to side. Change sides. And then place your feet hip distance apart. Hold on to your knees, round your lower back, and slowly roll onto your back. Come into supine position, pulling your knees towards your chest. And maybe lift the back of your head and then pull your crown far away and then drop your neck down as if you want to lay it flat onto the mat. Chin goes down to your chest. So allow your lower body to rest on your upper body, not necessarily pulling those knees, just releasing that lower back into the mat. And then cross those knees and pull them towards your chest. Perhaps you can feel a stretch in your glutes. And release and change sides. And release one leg down. Let's say releasing the right leg down onto the mat. Keep your left knee hugged towards your chest. Push your lower back into the mat and stretching that right leg far out from your hip. Beautiful stretch in your lower back, in your hip flexor. Make sure that both shoulder blades are relaxed and released into the mat. And then if you can, take index and middle finger, hook them in between your big toe and the second toe, and then push that heel up. And it doesn't matter whether your leg is straight or not. Feel that stretch in your hamstring. Take your right hand, place it onto your right hip so that it's not going to float up. And then you can see that the shoulder, or feel that the shoulder blade moves off the mat, right? Your left shoulder blade. So move it back. We've done this in standing. So if you move your shoulder blade back onto the mat, that stretched out leg, floating leg might not be nicely stretched. That is absolutely perfectly fine. And then allow that leg to go outward, keeping it nice and taut, that tension between hand and foot. And perhaps you would like to move that big toe up towards your nose. See how that feels. Should feel a nice stretch on the inner thigh. Keeping your right glute and right hip close to the mat. Inhale, come back to center and release that leg down. Give your legs a bit of a shake and then hug your right knee into your chest. Push your left leg out of that hip joint, nice and long. Push your lower back into the mat. Shoulder blades are down. And then the same thing on this side. Index and middle finger hook around your big toe. Left hand goes onto left hip. Right shoulder blade goes back and down onto the mat. And then push that right heel up towards the sky. And then release that leg out. It's all about the hips today. Maybe you want to move that big toe towards your nose. Maybe the stretch is sufficient. And then come on back. And release everything down. Give yourself a beautiful stretch. Great job. Bend your knees. Place your feet hip distance apart. And take your heels close enough that your fingertips can touch them.
And what we're going to do before we end the class and flow into Shavasana, we're going to inhale, we're going to lift the pelvis, at the same time move the arms up and behind our head, release them down. And on the exhale, we come down, release the hands, the arms, and glutes down onto the mat. 3 more times. Inhale, up, open that entire front side, squeezing those legs together. Glutes are active. Exhale, come down. And really pair it with your breath. And up. Gives you beautiful massage in your shoulder girdle, shoulder blades, neck. Exhale down. And last time. And let's just stay there, pushing that entire front side of your body up towards the sky. Your knees move close together. Your soles of your feet are pushing into the mat, pushing your neck down into the mat as well. Another 3, 2, 1, and then exhale, come on down. And then move your knees from side to side. And the next time you're in the center, push your soles of your feet and your hands up towards the sky. Splay the fingers and toes. Pull your chin down towards your chest. And hold. Splay the fingers, toes. Stretch those legs. Push your lower back into the mat. 3, 2, 1, and shake it all out. And then slowly drop your arms and legs down onto the mat for Shavasana. Turn your palms facing up. And take as much space as you want on your mat or beyond the mat today. And before we flow into the much deserved and needed Shavasana, gently either sway your head from side to side or draw lying figure 8s with the tip of your nose. If you do that, please do it in both directions. And then we meet with the tip of our nose pointing upwards. Take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your open mouth. Maybe you want to arch your back. Big exhale. And again. And last one. And with this last exhale, allow your body to grow heavy and sink into your mat. Release whatever you don't need anymore. Release your body into the mat and grow heavy. Your toes, your feet, your ankles. Relax. Your legs, your knees. Relax. Your pelvis, your glutes, your tailbone. Relax. Your lower back, your belly, your chest. Relax. Your shoulder blades, your shoulders, your elbows, your arms. Relax. Your wrists, the palm of your hands, your fingers. Relax. your neck, the back of your head, your entire face, and throat. Relax. Allow your entire body to grow heavy. Sink into the mat. Relax. With your next inhale, slowly bring your attention to the space around you. Become aware of sounds near and far. Maybe feel the air on your skin and the mat beneath your body. Your next inhale, bring your attention into your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And then inhale deeply into your belly. Move your arms above your head and give yourself a beautiful stretch from your toes all the way up to your fingertips. And then gently hug one knee after the other towards your chest. And then either sway from side to side or gently rotate your knees in both directions. Activating Idam Pingala. And then roll onto your favorite side and release your entire body weight into the mat and stay here for 3 breaths. Relaxing completely, letting go of whatever doesn't serve you anymore. And when you're ready, slowly come on up into a comfortable seated position. Place your legs in such a way that is comfortable to you. Rooting down through your sit bones. Place your hands either in your lap, on your thighs, or on your knees. Allow your crown to move up towards the sky, lengthening your entire spine, opening your chest. Allow a smile to form on your lips. Your forehead is relaxed. Your belly is soft. Your next inhale, take your hands into an Anjalina Mudra. Thumbs touching your heart. Drop your fingers, your forehead down to your fingers. In gratitude for the time and effort you invested in the most lovable, spectacular human to walk the face of the earth, yourself. Connect to the thought, the name, the image, the smell from beginning of the class that conjured a smile onto your face. That is too far gone. Maybe something else will pop into your mind that make you smile. Lodge it into your heart. And then raise your forehead. Move those thumbs up to your forehead. In gratitude and love, I realize who I am. Drop those thumbs down to your heart. Gratitude and love, I realize who I am, what I have, and what I have to give. Allow that sentiment to course throughout your emotional and physical being, and shine it out into the world, and allow it to touch as many people as you'd like to today and in the days to come. To end the class, we'll do 3 lines breath. You can keep your hand in Angelina Mudra, or you can take them out into cactus. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your open mouth. Stick out your tongue, bark, growl, whatever rocks your boat. Let's go. And last one. Thank you so much for joining today. I wish you an absolute beautiful rest of the day and keep hydrated.